both watched it, and Lena said, "Oh, that will be a waste of time." She said, "It's the same old stuff, being fed up and everything." And I said, "Well, you never know."
Peggy Claude Pierre founded the centre and developed her understanding and treatment of the disease.
After seeing the Canadian clinic on TV, Martha contacted Peggy Claude Pierre, who agreed to meet Lena during a visit to England.
She said, "Yes, it's possible we can
try
and help you." She says, "But it's rather difficult because of the expense, etc. We had to think about it, and we had to go away and think about, well, how we're going to raise that kind of money. Perhaps we can think of something."
She also said, of course, that we have not a vast, giant hospital; it's a small clinic, and we've got hundreds of people on our waiting list, and but we'll see what we can do, and we'll try very hard. And that was that. That was as far as we got. And then Lena came back, and time went on, and she was getting worse and worse, despite all our efforts. I mean, we were monitoring her all day long.
Near Christmas time.
Yes.
And it looked as if we don't get some help now, we're going to lose Lena.
We're going to lose her.
Because she was really giving up. So what I did was, I took a photograph, and I sent it to Canada and said, "If you really want to help,
you better do it now.
You better got to do it now." And within 24 hours, Peggy said, "Right, I'll get a ticket for you."
In 1995, Lena Zavaroni attended the Montreux Clinic in Canada. Over the years, Lena had been in several such clinics and had talked to dozens of specialists. But so far no one had been able to find a cure for her illness. But Lena now weighed only 3.5 stone, and Peggy Claude Pierre seemed like her last hope.
I remember her gentleness, a little pixie of a person, of course, after many years of eating disorders. I was horrified to see what it had ravaged on her body and mind over years. The years of taking pills, the years of taking diet foods certainly had done her some damage. She arrived here and started on 24-hour care immediately.
Peggy Claude Pierre became involved with anorexia after both her daughters had suffered from the illness. The core philosophy of the clinic is to build patients' self-esteem.
What I have found out in my experience with eating disorders, certainly initially with my daughters, was that there was what seemed to be an emotional parasite which deterred forward movement emotionally for the patients. And it was necessary to interrupt that negative thinking with positive thinking. And if the negative thinking was happening 24 hours a day, then it was necessary to supply positive thinking 24 hours a day from an external source.
Lena appeared happy at the clinic and quickly put on weight.
During the time that I worked with her, she went from being on full care, 24-hour care, so it means she had someone with her all the time. And then she actually got to a point where she went on partial care. So she only had a care worker with her for half the day. And she was doing quite well, and she was really excited about life and about being on her own. And I remember one day in particular, we were downtown, I went to go pick her up. She had been on her own, and I went to meet her at 4 o'clock or something to be with her for the rest of the night. And she was so happy. She was, "Erin, I feel so free," she said, and she was really excited. She had just got this new haircut, and she was doing really well.
Well, we wrote regularly, and we kept in close contact. And I said to Martha, "Why don't you go to see Lena?" Peggy said, "Come." So she took care of Martha and made sure she was
I had
well
an
looked
apartment
after.
there within the place, so I could see what was happening, and I could see the unconditional love, and the sort of atmosphere was terrific.
She stayed, 3 weeks?
I stayed there for 3 weeks, and Lena at that time wasn't 100% happy. She looked absolutely wonderful, though. She had put on weight. She was now just under 6 stone, and she looked beautiful. I have to say she looked beautiful, but she was very miserable about it.
She did well physically. to a point, and then was worried about her weight and started to tell us that it was necessary, that we understand that something else was wrong with her neurologically, that wasn't about an anorexic clinic. She said, she referred to it oftentimes as static. She said there was a veil of grayness and noise that she couldn't see or hear past. She oftentimes said that she couldn't feel a hug or she couldn't hear a kind word.
This is Lena reaching the abyss. She knew if she carried on like this, she was going to be normal again. And something, either the anorexia or whatever was the devil inside her, the demons just were whispering to her, don't take that last step, because you know you'll be like everybody else then. And this is so powerful, this force. You can't realise how powerful it is. And that just started to pull her back and filter into the subconscious, go back to the old ways,
I think the program would have worked for her if she had wanted to do it. But you have to have a little part of you that wants to do it. And I don't think that she had that, so.
I must admit, I felt very disappointed and a wee bit angry within myself, which I tried not to show, because then I'd start blaming Lena again, and I realised she's just very, very ill and very sick. And it's true, she was too far gone.